Welcome to Silicon Valley Nonprofits, a service of KMVT Community Media. I'm Bev Lenahan, your host. Our guests today are Marie Bernard, Executive Director of Sunnyvale Community Services, Donna Beres, who is on the Management Board of Our Daily Bread, and Marie Barlahan, the Director of Emergency Services for Sunnyvale Community Services. Thank you for coming today. Thank you very much, ladies, for being here. I really appreciate you making an effort to be all together today. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the services of Sunnyvale Community Service, all the great successes that you've had. But now you're really working a lot on homelessness and employing several partnerships to really address this issue. So tell us a little bit more about what the trends are, Marie, and what Sunnyvale services are doing.
Okay. Thanks, Bev. And we are here as a community, which is very, very nice. So thank you for having all of us here today.
You're welcome.
Sunnyvale Community Services has been a safety net core agency for the Sunnyvale community since 1970, and there's been a lot of changes since then in our valley and in our part of Santa Clara County. We started off very modestly, helping people with food aid and some financial aid and holiday gifts. Since then, we've grown now to be helping 7,000 of our neighbors every year.
Wow.
And we're seeing the need really grow in both of the things that we really focus on. Our goal is to prevent homelessness and to prevent hunger. But more and more, we're facing both poor nutrition as well as homelessness in a growing number for many of our families and our seniors in Sunnyvale. And a lot of people think there's not a lot of poverty in Sunnyvale, but what we're seeing is that many people are trying to make it as rents are rising and also as they're facing the squeeze of the financial burden of trying to pay all of the bills when being housed is so hard.
They're on the edge, really.
They're on the edge. We often say that folks are one bill away from becoming homeless or from really suffering in everyday life. So folks will do anything to stay housed. And people will give up medicine, food. They'll take turns on who gets to eat that night. And they'll also forego medical care. And they'll also decide that they're going to, instead of trying to be on their own as a family, double up, triple up. But more and more people are slipping into homelessness. And we're saying that the new studio apartment in Sunnyvale is the car. That's where many people are forced to, after they lose their housing because of rising rents or because of one bill that they had to pay. More and more we're facing people who come in and say, well, I can't take that kind of food because I don't have a kitchen to cook in, because they are staying in their car or a friend's car.
Or sleeping on someone's couch.
Very, very often. And the families are very resourceful. 75% of the people we help are in working poor families. And typically they're working 2 jobs per adult. The children are trying to get to school, often where parents are not able to be there or they're not getting good nutrition. And then the other part of the population we serve are folks who are either disabled or seniors. And seniors are really suffering now because they can't raise their income very easily.
Not if they're in this valley.
No. So more and more we're finding that we have to partner. We have to partner with people who can help us work with folks to prevent them from falling into homelessness and to help them get good nutrition, not just any food, but good nutrition. And then we also, and we also want to make sure that we are partnering with folks to help the people who already became homeless. And that's where working with Our Daily Bread, with our partners at Downtown Streets team who partner with all of us, and with many of our funders to work on populations that we know really need our help the most.
Yes, well, certainly leveraging through partnerships is a really key way to go, for sure. So let's talk about that a little bit, Donna. Now, I know that Our Daily Bread, that represents quite a commitment just in the name. So tell us a little bit more about what you do and how this partnership has developed.
Well, Our Daily Bread is a free meal program for the the hungry and homeless in our community. We serve about 300 meals for 3 days a week, so almost 1,000 meals. Many of our diners, this is their only source of a hot meal, and so their livelihood, their well-being, and basically their survival is somewhat dependent on our program. We've been serving for about 33 years.
Oh, that
we
long.
are
Very
100%
good.
volunteers except for one part-time program director, which keeps our overhead quite low.
Yes.
And we're supported by the community through civic organizations, private donations, and churches. I'd like to share one story about one of our diners who came, and I think it illustrates the kind of collaborations that are going on to help lift people out of poverty.
Please do. Stories say so much.
So we had a lady come to Our Daily Bread about 2 to 3 years ago. She was on drugs. She was living on the streets, a very dangerous lifestyle. She started dining regularly. We were quite worried about her survival, so we started giving her odd volunteer jobs, and she would take extra food home to her camp or to whoever she was staying with at the moment. We introduced her to the Downtown Streets Team program. This is a program that teaches life skills and also gives work experience. So this particular person got involved with the Downtown Streets Team, and then I'm going to jump ahead 3 years. This particular person went back to school and got a technical degree. She got a job. She now has 2 jobs. She has housing. And she came the other day and showed us the car she was able to buy.
Wow.
And was very proud that her credit rating was above 800.
Oh,
now,
my goodness.
this would not have been possible without groups like Sunnyvale Community Services and Downtown Streets Team and Our Daily Bread partnering together. With the support of Sunnyvale Community Services, we've been able to retain an outreach worker at each of our lunches.
Oh,
and so we have resources there to give referrals to people, to programs like Downtown Streets Team. So I'm most proud of that story because I think it illustrates that it does take a village to get people out of poverty.
It certainly does, and some people might think that 3 years is a long time, but when we've been so far down, there are a lot of things that need to be kind of reconstructed, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
During that time. I think having that outreach person readily available at the meals really must make a difference.
It makes a substantial difference.
Yes, for sure. Well, let's turn for just a minute, too, and then talk with you, Marie, and tell us a little bit about the emergency services at Sunnyvale Community Services.
Sure. So we have 2 sections that we have a casework department as well as a case management. And I'd like to refer to the casework portion as like the emergency room of the hospital. They take care of the immediate need. They address the immediate issue and resolve it. And like following up with a primary care doctor, those are where our case management team comes in to develop a plan, to sustain the plan, help them meet their goals, and then make sure to follow up and that they're sustaining and they're getting out of poverty. So those two main programs, along with the SSVF, which stands for Support Services for Veteran Families, that department is fairly new to our agency. They address homeless veterans or imminent risk of homelessness. They provide case management, employment services, outreach, as well as connecting them with benefits, and of course housing search, which of course is the difficult part here in Silicon Valley.
Sure. So some of those case managers would actually work with the Veterans Hospital and other referral groups.
Definitely. And again, as both Marie and Donna said, it does take collaboration. We work closely with Downtown Streets Teams and Our Daily Bread. We have worked with Downtown Streets Teams to help resolve some of the issues. There was an encampment at Fair Oaks Park, and when City of Sunnyvale passed an ordinance to prohibit encamping and storing items at public places, we worked with Downtown Streets team to do outreach to make sure that the families and individuals that are living there are able to have a contingency plan, you know, connecting them to services. And I'd also like to share one story there where we had a couple who was living in the camp. They were connected to Downtown Streets teams as well as our agency. They were homeless and they were connected to the cold weather shelter. They were able to stay in the program for 4 months. We also helped with a limited amount of motel stay, and they transitioned eventually to a studio that's actually right across from Fair Oaks Park, and they are housed, and they've been housed for several months. And I love to talk to the gentleman that was housed there, because although it's a moderate-sized studio, he calls it his palace, and they're both such a different person now, and they are so thankful and grateful for the work that we've all been able to do as SBF, helping them, as well as our case management team and then Downtown Streets team.
Oh, thank you for that. They're sort of your best cheerleaders now, aren't they, to encourage other people in the program? I imagine some of them still do attend Our Daily Bread and come back and speak to the other folks around them, encouraging them to take part in the different programs that it really can work, right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So we hope that we can end homelessness, but it's a long road, isn't it? And when we think about these collaborations, I would imagine, Marie, you spend a good part of your time working with the partners and making sure that you can be efficient and effective and being able to track what's going on, because so much of the funding today, unfortunately, is dependent on being able to be accountable and track outcomes, right? So how are you finding that you're being able to do some of that tracking? How is that working?
Well, we're very lucky that we've been in the community for so long. And so we have over 2,000 volunteers who are the best ambassadors you could wish for. They talk about the great work we do and also the experience they have of being welcomed and being invited to be part of the solution. So many of our volunteers tell us that they themselves needed help in some time of their life, which is very heartwarming to hear. Yes. The graciousness that they bring, it just exudes out to the community. And our funders see that we're very efficient. We have very low overhead. We're very fortunate that our biggest partner is Second Harvest Food Bank, who gives us over 900 tons of food. So we're very efficient because we have to move a lot of food, and we just also started reaching out to the community, and through the donation of a big truck, being able to go out to some of the low-income schools in Sunnyvale for what we call our weekend food program for the schools, because we found out that kids were showing up hungry on Mondays. And the idea that we could bring food out there for them and their families meant that they were very, very much able to learn on Monday mornings. So that type of visibility that we have helps us to tell our story and to invite people to share in both the financial support as well as through their time and talent at the agency.
Well, there's probably everyone has a family member or someone close that they know who has been close to the edge. And to be able to feel like you can give back and help someone else in an effort like that is what volunteers look for, don't they? They look for that satisfaction, that's for sure. Well, I want to make sure that we let people know how to get a hold of Sunnyvale Community Services and also Our Daily Bread. So what are your websites, and what's the best way for people to reach you?
Well, you can Google us, but we're also, our website is svcommunityservices.org. So S as in Sam, V as in Victor for Sunnyvale, communityservices.org. And we also, you can like us on Facebook. We also are on Instagram and Twitter. So, but if you go to our website, you can easily get a hold of us, and our phone number is 408-738-4321.
Thank you so much. And Donna, how about Our Daily Bread?
Well, one of the easiest ways to get a hold of Our Daily Bread, if you don't want to look us up at the website, is just to come to our location in Sunnyvale. We are across the street from Washington Park. A lot of people know where we are. You can drop in any Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We won't make you volunteer, but you can have lunch, or you can help us serve if you'd like. And we're located at St. Thomas Episcopal Church.
Great. Thank you ever so much, the three of you, for being with us today. And all good fortune. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bev.